Welcome to ECN Trade Daily Video. Before we begin, it should be noted that any advice is of a general nature only and that your personal circumstances have not been taken into consideration. Hello everyone, my name is Rob Clayton and thank you very much for joining me. Well, the Australian dollar did attempt to rally on overnight. From the break of 75.65, the market eventually got to a high near that 75.90. And as you can see here from the price formation here, that we can draw a short term from that 65 level from the break, and from there could actually see further scope to the upside with the risk events into this week. That being said though, I expect to see resistance coming in at 76.1015, just around this region where we've recently challenged, where these troughs are and also these peaks are, and eventually see a market move back beneath that support that comes in now at 35 and lower to the recent challenge low of 74.8090. With the 4-hour time frame breaking down, as you can see here, does support that view. Looking onto the euro, you can see the market did rally firmly overnight to record a fresh 4-week high of 107.14, just in front of that resistance of 107.2035. From the rejection, which was quite severe, does look further through a down test with immediate support coming in at 106.40. This could lead on towards the target of 105.55.65 with a firm base holding beneath there at 104.50.70. In the unlikely event that we do get further demand coming through into the market, especially with the risk events into this week, with the Bank of England, and also with the Eurozone politics, and also with the G20, and not forget we have the FOMC meeting on Thursday. We could see a little bit of more of an impulse to the upside, but I do expect to see heavy supply returning above that 107 handle towards that 108. But I still hold the broad view that the market will eventually sell away from either level and look towards that downside objective of 104.50.70, and with the base or the near 14-year low, which currently holds around 103.40.65. Dollar yen, well, no real surprise there since the market's backed away from that resistance of 115.55. Did show further potential to sell off last night, but support still holding pretty much at 114.20, and at the moment we could see a further weakness towards this level into the coming session. But that being said though, I see the market will return from a bullish stance from that 113.50 level and eventually take on the challenge to the top side and clearing 115.5 and moving back to 118 to the preferred side. Sterling, well, since posting 2 dojis near enough from that 121.2040 level, demand did come through overnight and took out the resistance of 120.20 but failed to continue on. In light of the current pattern, I expect to see heavy resistance now around the 122.9505 mark, around this region here, and eventually see a move back to the downside. Now with the risk events out of the UK, with the comments coming from Theresa May, the Prime Minister, that we could see the Brexit starting to unfold further, it would expect to see a market sell off. Now I am looking further to the downside and we could see the flash crash around that 118 as a potential target. The gold, as you can see from the downtrend from 12.64, the market is currently finding an attempt to try and take on the resistance seen around that 12.12 level after getting a high of 11 overnight. That being said though, the market did slip away quite heavily and now trades at 12.02. I'm still holding the view that the market will sell off down towards 11.80 as an objective and reassess from there, with the cap seen at 12.12. And to wrap up with oil, well, the market still remains bearish. As you can see here with all the red candles, that the market's looking towards that $45 a barrel and reassess from there. Any advances should find a cap from 49.60 to 50.50 as a barrel. So that wraps up my daily video. Thank you very much for joining me. And as always, look out for my intraday report that will be released very shortly.